Okay, hello all. Ming here. I had a question from Geo, I think, from my friends who watch this channel. I like working in the edit page, so I'm going to bring in a clip. This is DaVinci 17, DaVinci Studio 17, but some of the things that I'm going to do here are quite basic, and you'll be able to do it on the free version as well. Considering this is beta anyway, it's free. You can see here the resolution for the file itself is 1920 by 1080. One of the questions that was asked was how to export this to a larger format. One of the main ways is your timeline is going to help determine how you export. So in this area, I create a new timeline and we'll just do 4K. I'll just call it 4K. And I will not use project settings because your project settings, again, already determine that it's probably a 2K or 1080, 1920 by 1080 timeline. So I'm going to go into the use project settings, turn that off, go to format. And in here, I'll switch this to 4K. So we can do 4K DCI. That's fine. It really doesn't matter. You can set it to whatever size you want, including custom. So you can go through here. And so if this was an odd numbered photograph and you needed to change that, you go to custom, change it, and you can put anything that you want. In this particular case, I'm going to just go to the 4K, which is the DCI. Timeline frame rate doesn't matter because we're using this as a still image. I'm going to go create. So now the timeline here is 4K. Just to make sure, I double click, it's on there. You can look over here in the file settings and you'll see that it is resolution of 4K. Then I'll take the photo and I'll drag it down into the timeline and you see it fits. It's automatically upscaled to that. So when I go through my color setting, I can now make any adjustments I need on the nodes and so forth. Actually, this one's not too bad. I think I already did some stuff with that. Can increase contrast maybe a little bit. We can adjust. There's a lot of neat things to do in the HDR so that you can do a little bit more on the specular highlights and so forth. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a still, because this still is now at a 4K resolution. I will now go and export, changing it to whatever type of file you want. Do TIFF, PNG, etc. So I'll just do PNG, grandma. And then what I'll do is I'll open up Photoshop. You'll see that when we take a look at the image size, we look at the dimensions, it's already 4096 by 2160. That's 72 dots per inch. And that is how you create a larger image. It'll upscale it. Actually, DaVinci Resolve does an incredible upscaling. As you can see, it's really quite extraordinary how well they do it. Because they're used to doing it for video anyway, and that has a bit of complexity in it. But that's how you do it. As a recap here, you just bring it in, whatever image it happens to be. You create your timeline, name it whatever you wish, turn off the use project settings, go to format, timeline resolution, change it to either a custom or any particular size that you wish. We can go 8, I'm curious about the 8K. Let's take a look at that. Create an 8K timeline. I'm going to drag and drop her onto the timeline. Go to the color channel, a bit larger here. I will delete this one and I will grab a still here so there's no confusion. Now I will export, and again, just name it the same, except I'll just change it to 8K. So when I open this up, it's now a 106 megabyte file. This is an 8K image that you're looking at. This is the 4K. So the only thing that looks slightly different is the contrast has changed slightly, but you can see there's no giant pixelation. Go to image size here again, is 8,000 by 4,000. And it has really done a marvelous job on ramping that up to a different size. It really is quite an excellent way of enlarging your images. And again, in here, I would just, again, change contrast, go through there, um, work this up a little bit more, that sort of thing, depending on what I needed to do. Um, but there, I hope that helps you. And if you do have any other questions, I will be going through a more detailed version of how to clean up these photographs in partially using DaVinci Resolve and then also Photoshop so that it can help those who have that question. Hope this helps. Please thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And please share. Thank you.